How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews, back with a little bit of Fox Farm up in this piece, courtesy of my boy Steven. This be their near and far. This is a double India Pale Ale, and it is made with grape juice. Has grape juice in it, let's put it that way. Yeah, with white grapes, and the ABV on this sucker is 8.2%. This be like a week and a half old. And like I said, it came via my buddy Steven. I've been pumped to try this beer ever since I heard the head brewer was on Steal This Beer, and he kind of talked about making this particular beer with these grape juice, with that white grape juice. And I was kind of pumped about it because I like that kind of combination when it comes to hazy. So we'll see how this one plays. Label-wise, classic Fox Farm. So I'm digging on it. Beer, I mean, the beer itself looks fine, but that head is a little bit wonky. Very, very soapy. Not much creaminess to it. That grape juice could absolutely be the part of that. So there's really not a beautiful head on it. Actually, the last time I poured a beer in this particular Willie Beecher, the head sucked again. Maybe this glass has got something funky going on in it. I'll have to fix that or remedy that. But I mean, she looks all the parts of a delicious hazy, minus the head. Let's get a nose. I'm not getting a huge nose on this either. It has this kind of soft green to it, nothing too crazy, soft citrus, orange, grapefruit leaning, and a little bit of kind of white grape vinous. Nothing too crazy for an 8% Fox Farm beer. This definitely comes off a little bit more muted than what I expect. Doesn't smell bad by any stretch of imagination. It's just a little bit softer than what I thought it would be. Let's dive in. Cheers. It tastes delicious, though. That's the thing. I like this for a couple different reasons. Knee jerk, just it's tasty AF. But the way, and I don't mean this in a negative way, it's almost like this white grape. It says with white grapes. I'm assuming there's white grape juice in here. It almost like waters down in a positive way. That's what I mean, not negative way. An overly aggressively green kind of hazy, something with a bit of hop burn, something maybe a little bit too kind of aggressive, for the lack of a better term, and just adds this kind of roundness and the softness to it without adding all that much sweetness to it either. Because when you start thinking about adding grape juice, sure, it's not your kid's Welch's grape juice that is overly sweet, but you still think of adding a kind of sweetness to it. It's not the case here. So decent mouthfeel, nothing overly creamy, nothing overly fluffy. It has a density to it, lets you know you're drinking something of high ABV. That green, the hop comes off green. Comes off a little hop pellet green. No hop burn, but it's green. It's big green. The actual hops themselves and the fruited side of things brings a little bit of mango, brings a definite portion of citrus, both orange and kind of grapefruit-like. But it's that kind of mango back and forth between that citrus is quite fun. And then you add that nice enveloping, that'd probably be the best word I can kind of bring here, kind of white vinous grapiness that isn't overly sweet, isn't overly acidic, isn't overly anything. Just adds this added element to the beer, which I think elevates it. Is it the best grape juice IPA that I've ever had? I would probably still put that OG Gewürztraminer from Dialed In Gewürztraminer from Trillium up there for you. This past year's version I had, I actually thought was pretty horrible. But the original one was so good. So there's ones that have been done better than this for me. But this is pretty damn tasty stuff. And something a little bit different for me. At least from my experience with Fox Farm. Sure, I've had a lot of their kind of table beer, their kind of farmhouse level beer that has some, stuff to add, a lemon peel or, salt and kind of goza style stuff. But as far as IPAs go, and as far as beer goes in general, it's been pretty classic fare. Dark milds and lagers and IPAs and double IPAs and pale ales and all those kind of beers. And this is the first one I've had from them where they took one of those kind of, not to call a hazy New England style IPA a classic style, but added something on top of a kind of defined style, for lack of a better term. I just wish it had a little bit more carbonation, a little bit more head to it. But like I said, I wash my glasses like crazy. But this last 3 times I've used this glass, the head has been knocked out. So maybe there's something I can't get off this glass. There's just killing the head on this. Doing myself a disservice by not cleaning my glasses correctly. But yeah, I like it. I think it's fun. I think it's tasty. Is it one of the more better Fox Farm IPAs I've had as of late? This is probably, honestly, it's not up there with like the OG bursts of the world, those kind of things, the double burst. But it's tasty, and it's up there. Again, it could be more my fault, the way the head kind of came off on this, but I just wanted that little bit of extra mouthfeel, that creaminess, to kind of add a little added dimension to it. But as far as one of the more interesting Fox Farm ones, yeah, along with some of the stouts that I've had, and some of the table beers, this is definitely in that mix, because it's having this kind of added component to the beer that you typically don't get from a brewery that hasn't really shown that side of themselves yet. Is really, really fun. Value and availability, Steven, let me know what's what, or anybody out there in the whole Fox Farm universe, and leave you with, if you like what we like this beer. I mean, if you like really well done beer. I mean, listen, it's really hard to talk about Fox Farm. How do I put this? Because they're just so good. And that's just not me blowing smoke up your ass, trying to fucking, hype up a brewery that people think are awesome. I don't do that shit. It's here we go. Okay, perfect. So a couple weeks ago, Aaron Rodgers, quarterback for the Green Bay Packers in the NFL, was on a podcast because he just had a shitty game or something like that. I forget what happened. I forget the reason why they were talking about this, but the 2 people that were talking to him were talking about, like, how people say he had a down year the last couple of years, and how this year he's playing really well again, and how, like, people didn't think he'd be able to come back from those 2 down years. And he just matter-of-factly, per what Aaron Rodgers almost exclusively does, he does a whole relax thing, just fucking relax. He goes, my down years are other people's career years. I like that. And that's kind of Fox Farm. Even though this beer didn't absolutely blow it out of the water, it's better than almost all the hazies I've had as of late. So it's the only reason why this doesn't even sniff Mount Rushmore status is because there's 4 Fox Farm beers that I've had recently I like more than this one. That's it. If this is the only one I've had from them, it'd probably be on there. It's kind of like that thing. You can only, you only can put so many faces on that mountain. And while this beer is epically fantastic, I just like some of the ones I've had from them more. It's almost like they're only in competition with themselves, as far as I go. I mean, you're more than welcome to homer up and love breweries that you love. But man, they're just such a great brewery. And they do so many styles and run so many different versions of different kinds of beer. Just such a fun time to be alive when breweries like these exist. Here's my love story, my love poem to Fox Farm. So there we go. Thank you very much, Steven. Very much. If you like what we like this, if you like really good beer. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. Want to check me out doing a whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Hopefully enjoying a little Fox Farm right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.